way to preach this morning. Taught my Sunday school class this morning. I don't tell them how proud I am of them. I watch them grow. I want you to pray for them. I'm trying my best and that teach them how to be Christian. I want these. I want them Christians that know the word and that this morning. They can understand and that we can defend the gospel this morning. There's so many people up here this morning that will put a Christian down for what they believe. Maybe this morning I'm not ashamed, and that's who I am. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ this morning. If we're ashamed of it this morning, the Bible teaches me to be ashamed of us this morning. I'm not ashamed of that who God made me be. I've got some scripture, the Lord let me get to this morning, but I just want to follow Him this morning. He says over here in one place in the book of Psalms, He says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made this morning. And I've thought of that for weeks and that. Sometimes we don't realize just who that we are, and I'm not boasting of myself, but I'm boasting of the Lord this morning. That He made me, and that He made me exactly how He wants me to be this morning. He made you exactly how He wants you to be this morning. I told my little children that obey the Lord's voice this morning. We get caught up so much in this form of fashion that we have to do these things. We'll come in, we'll have to sing the song, and we'll have to come around, and we'll have to testify at the altar. We'll have to do this and that. But if God tells you to sing right now, why would you not sing that this morning? Obey His voice. You are fearfully and wonderfully made this morning. You are made perfect, just in the image of God, the Bible says this morning. Why do we not have freedom here this morning? Not in God's house this morning. Do we not have freedom and have to follow the Lord? We do this morning. We're God's chosen people. And the Bible tells me that we're part of a royal priesthood this morning. We're part of a chosen generation this morning. I'm not ashamed of that credential. I'm not ashamed of who God made me to be this morning. Amen. God, I reckon I've been forgiven through the blood of Jesus Christ this morning. He's took something that was pitiful out of myself, something that was sinful in myself, and I come to realize that I had sin in my life, and He took that, and He cleaned it up, and He's washed it white as snow in that this morning. I'm not ashamed of that who I am this morning. Amen. There's too many Christians that walk around this morning with their head hung down, or about what somebody think about them this morning. I don't want to be part of the world this morning. I'm part of a number in that. I'm part of a number, and I testified to you for a little while this morning. Amen. I've got a testimony, but amen, I'm part of a number this morning. As John seen over in the book of Revelation this morning, he's seen a number that could be numbered tonight. Amen. Are you part of that number this morning? I preached to you last Sunday night about salvation, getting saved this morning. If I have anything to preach this morning, it'd be Jesus Christ and Him crucified. And that this morning, there'll come a time that the Lord wants to work with you this morning. There'll come a time when He'll say, enough's enough. I've had enough. I'm sending out my angels to come and get the church now. Are you going to be part of that number this morning? That was a number. He's saying that no man can number in that. Are you part of that this morning? I turn to my scripture here this morning, try to get settled down a little, but it's all right. We'll be reading this morning. If you want to turn with us, I'll look at Exodus. It's very familiar scripture. As I look at Exodus chapter 3, we'll be starting at the first verse.
I want fears. I want fears. I want fears, Mommy.
Book of Exodus, chapter 3, starting at the first verse. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see God calling to him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, but all thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Lord. And the Lord said, I have truly seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good land and large, into the land flowing with milk and honey, into the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. And we'll leave off reading right there correctly read. And as I said, I know this is familiar scripture. We've heard it preached and taught on time and time again, but I began to think about this scripture, and I began to think about Moses here. And I take my time a little this morning to tell you what I want you to see. I want to talk about Moses' condition here when he got down here this morning. And the Bible says in that first verse that he was in a desert place. Now, how he got to this place, the Bible teaches us that he was raised up in Pharaoh's own house, and Pharaoh's daughter even took care of Moses, and she loved him like he was one of her own, and she loved this little child, and she raised him up to follow after the Egyptians. But when a certain time came, he began to see that his people were the Jewish people this morning. He seen their affliction, and it grieved him at his very heart. And the Bible says that he seen them fighting with one another, and he took and he slew one of the Egyptians there. The Bible says that he took and he covered him up and hit him in the sand. He committed murder this morning, is what he done. And he went out the next day. He saw two men fighting of his brethren, two Jews. They were fighting, and come to find out, somebody saw what he'd done here. They saw that he murdered this Egyptian. The Bible says that he fled here to this desert place. And through time past, he got hooked up with his father-in-law and his wife and this and that. And we've got to this little point right here. But I thought about Moses and where he's at in his life. He's around 40 years old at this time. He's fled away from his homeland. He's got nothing to his name. I don't believe he's got any money or anything like that. Everything that he's got, he's obtained from his father-in-law and from his wife. They kind of took care of him just as Pharaoh's daughter did. And he's got to this place. He's not got a Bible in his hand, holding it around or anything like that. He doesn't have a church he's coming into. He's in a desert is where he's at. In a place where you wouldn't even expect God to be. And the Bible says that God called him out of the midst of the fire, out of this burning bush, out here in the desert. And what I want you to see in that this morning is that God can get to us in any place that we're at. It doesn't matter if you're in the desert this morning, or you're spiritually in the desert this morning, or you're in that place that you're died up this morning, a place that you are not in God's house in the place you need to be. Are you away from God this morning? Or are you out up at the throne this morning? It doesn't matter where you're at this morning. I mean, God is able to get to you this morning, wherever that you're at. And we are blessed this morning, for we are in God's very house this morning. If God can speak to Moses over here in the desert, in some little mountain out of a little bush, and that this morning, certainly He can speak in His own house, which is called by His name, and that this morning. And if God is speaking to you this morning, then why would you not listen to Him this morning? As I told you, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ this morning. If we're not ashamed this morning, we ought to be free to do whatever. The Bible teaches me that if God's made you free, then you're free indeed this morning. We have liberty this morning here in this place, but we treat it as we're worried about what somebody else will think, or we're worried about if we'll step on somebody's toes this morning. I'm telling you this morning, if you go and you follow Christ, not all men are going to be happy with you this morning. You know that? And there's going to be people that's going to persecute you this morning. There's going to be people that ain't going to like you this morning for what you stand up and what you believe in. This world, we can go around and we can look at it. It's getting worse than that this morning. It's not getting better. If you think things is getting better, I'd say you've got your head stuck in the sand this morning. It's not getting any better. Things is getting worse this morning. And we need to be a people that stand up for God and listen to what God has to say. You can go over and read there in the book of Romans. It says, for let not your good be evil then spoken of this morning. Don't let people put God down in that this morning. God will take care of me this morning. I fully believe that with all my heart. Amen. If it comes to pass that Amen. You think it can't happen that we get down to the time where people are taken and thrown in jail for going to church? You can go and you can look at some of these little reports tonight. I was reading one, I guess it was yesterday, I was reading it, and it said that it was talking about how many, like on a scale of how much it was going to be for you was able to contract the corona. And one of those was like number 6 or 7. It was talking about going to church. But it didn't say anything about any protests. It didn't say anything about any riots. That those was not catching the corona there. It talked about the thieves. It talked about the movie theater. It talked about all these different things. But when it said church and that, I just couldn't believe that they would put it so high up here on the list. Now, this world don't care about you going to church, but God does this morning. Amen. God was able to get Moses here, down in a little day, in a little place, and that where I wouldn't expect God to be. But some of the times in my life, when I've been in that desert, God still got me. I know a boy. I know a little boy. He was an evil little boy. He went and he done whatever that he wanted to do. He lived how he wanted to do. He drank. He done drugs. He fought with all kinds of men. He was a follower. He done whatever he wanted to do with that. That little boy was me. That little boy was me. Any man, woman sitting here, anything you've done, I've done something just as bad as you or worse this morning. And God still got me. We go back a short time, maybe 11, 12 years ago, you wouldn't recognize a man you've seen before. You wouldn't recognize him. Huh? But God still got me. Huh? Don't give up on people this morning. Huh? You told me 18, 19 years old that I was going to be a preacher. I was going to be where I'm at. I wouldn't believe. I didn't. We see all these people around. They're into these evil things. We see all these people that don't believe in God this morning. Don't give up on Him. But you can't be ashamed this morning. I don't know why I'm talking about that so much. You can't be ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ this morning. You want to tell people your story. Your testimony. If you want, so we talked about the class, separate yourself from these evil things. You won't show no God in you this morning. There's people looking at us then. I found a little note over here in my Bible the other day from Jake Rose. He was thanking me there that morning for preaching and this and that. There's people that's looking up to us. And it's not just in this church. It's outside here in this world that they need to know about Jesus. They do. They need to know. I'm the least in that of God's people. I'm thankful He moves today. He helps each and every one of us every day. Too many times we're just ashamed. That's just the truth this morning. Don't be ashamed this morning of God made you be. I really hope I get to read that and get to preach about being born again. But I can't. That's all right. God tells you something to do this morning. You do that. Don't be ashamed to do that. If He can change me, He can change you. And all of us sitting here in this house, we look real good to me. I look fine to everybody else. But that just wasn't true. You know on the inside if you're right or if you ain't. We know. We got conscience. I believe if we're one of God's children, we know if we're right or if we're wrong or not. These people out here, though, the Bible talks about them in one place. You can read over there in the book of Jonah. Get down there to the end of the chapter. They don't know the right hand from the left. The people need to know. They openly deny it after we told them that's their choice. No, it is. You don't, I read in the Bible there's many times that Jesus, when he went into these cities and things, when they wanted to run him out, he let them. If people don't want to hear you, that's all right this morning. It is. But you often get to people that I never knew. The people Tim can never get to this morning. I believe if we really want to teach people about God, we really want to teach people about Jesus Christ, we'll have to be a friend. You know that? You can't just go wrapped up in one head with your Bible and expect that to work. It won't. It won't this morning. But you can love them. You can tell them Jesus loves them this morning. If they don't want to hear it, just go on. Go on to the next one. Jesus sent forth the 70 there, didn't he? And when the people want to hear them people, them disciples that he's here now, he said, dust your feet off when you leave that city. They weren't trying to be spinning that, just staying right in that city. They had to go on to others. There's plenty of people we can testify to this morning. We can't do it for shame. You have the message this morning. I love you. I appreciate you.